All right, lift with the legs. Active? Are we actively listening?
Yes.
All right. So as you remember, we've addressed watermelons before. And a baby was born. The trick to watermelons is size versus weight. So not super heavy. I could do like a lot of reps. You see my sick form? Yeah, thanks. Not that heavy. This guy, a little heavier. So I want something that isn't very big, but when I pick it up, I'm like, oh, that's not that big. And I pick it up and I'm like, holy that's heavy as That's a good watermelon. No, not a good watermelon. What about this guy? Not that great. What about this guy? Also not that great. This one looks promising. Oh, holy mother of God. This is a heavy. So this is a fat baby right here. He's not that big. He's real. He's really heavy. So this is gonna be my winner. Melon. The watermelon, once again, has really nothing to do with the sound, has nothing to do with the smell, and everything to do with how heavy it is versus how big it is. Smaller watermelon, but heavy. Good watermelon. Also dirty, because it's from the ground. Good sign that it didn't grow in a lab. Cantaloupes. Obviously you can see the difference here between one that looks ripe and one that doesn't look ripe, but cantaloupes don't always have great flavor. You get a lot of them that are very watery tasting. The best way to pick a cantaloupe is really by smelling it. So I'm gonna pick one that obviously looks a little more ripe. The stem end on this side, which is the part you're going to puff like glue. Literally smells like nothing, so I'm gonna put it back. You want it to really smell like cantaloupe. You don't want any looking, rolling it around. You don't want any soft spots or anything that's kind of like rotted or fetid or gross looking. It's still nice and firm. Rub it like Buddha's belly. Once again, zero smell, so we're gonna put him back too. I smelled a good one over here, I just haven't found him yet. We're getting warmer. But as you see, you gotta watch out because he has some bruising, but it's not really soft, so it may just be bruising on the exterior of the melon. Since it's really not soft under those pores, it could just be from something resting against it. You get right up in there and you stick your schnoz in there and you smell it. I feel especially these days it's a lot harder to find a cantaloupe that doesn't taste like nothing. You just want one that has like that true sweet, fruity, a little floral cantaloupe smell. And I'm having no luck. So it looks like we're not buying a cantaloupe today. No, I'm over it. Cantaloupes suck. Moving on. Apples. There's lots of different types of apples and lots of different purposes for apples. There are things called hand apples and cooking apples. And then there's things called Red Delicious, which are absolutely purposeless. But seriously, Red Delicious apples suck. They're like really mealy, not very tart, so they're like really gritty on the inside. The skin is really thick. They just really don't taste very good. I usually see these at restaurants, at bars, use as sangria fruit because they're cheap and don't really taste like anything, so it doesn't matter what you really put in sangria because it's gonna soak up the wine, so why not go for something that's cheap? And because it's so fibrous and gritty in the middle, it kind of like sucks up the alcohol a little bit better than something that's very moist like a Granny Smith or a Honeycrisp, something like that. So Red Delicious, not my favorite, but good for cocktails. Empire apples are a super classic apple too. You see a little more shine on the outside, doesn't really feel, it's a little waxy, but it's smooth. Soft bottom, a little rounder. Good hand apple, also good for cooking, kind of like it can do a little bit of both. Cooking or eating, it's gonna be a little tart, but still gonna be sweet. Skin's not too thick, but still has fiber. Granny Smith, everyone knows these. Not a crazy fan to like eat them like a hand apple just because they are super tart. And I find that I actually throw a couple Granny Smith apples into my Pink Lady mix when I make apple pie because that tartness is very unusual and I feel like it brings a nice brightness that other apples don't have. So something that's really tart, good for sauces, good for cooking. If you like that, eat it like a hand apple, just not my thing. They make good juice too. The juice is nice and sweet and sour. I love Honeycrisp apples. Obviously it's not fall, so it is not apple season, so whatever you're getting right now is not gonna be what you really want it to be. It's like oranges in the summer. Like oranges are a citrus or are a winter fruit. They're not gonna be what you really want them to be outside of their season. things travel a lot more, we modify them, we help ripen them chemically. It's never gonna be what you want it to be. It's not gonna be like going to the farm in the fall. So once again, look at this full smooth bottom here. There's really no points on this at all. That's how you know the Honeycrisp is gonna be nice and sweet. The skin is not even really waxy, it's just smooth and soft. Honeycrisps are really my favorite apple. Skin is not too thick, has a nice sweetness to the skin, nice tanginess in the skin as well, and then the meat itself is nice and firm, but very juicy. Definitely top picks for hand apples. Brayburns and Pink Ladies are two of my favorite apples for cooking, particularly pie. Get a couple more points on the bottom as the apple shows that it's gonna be a little drier. Skin is getting closer to that kind of like papery effect, which for me tells me that it's gonna be a good cooking apple because that skin's really gonna break down in the oven or on the stove. This is a Brayburn. Pink Ladies look very similar, but they're a little, instead of this like reddish, they're a little pinker on this side, but still get that yellow. Great for cooking. All right, I'm ready. So these are Roma tomatoes. Roma tomatoes I usually use in cooked preparation just because, just by looking at them, you can tell they're gonna have more skin and meat and less inside juice and seeds and things like that, just because naturally because of their shape. Roma tomato, they're usually a little firmer just because there is more meat to them. Then you got some beefsteak tomatoes, which are gonna be your bigger, rounder, full tomatoes. And to choose those, so if you see here, this guy's like really tight skin. Let me find a good really unripened one. This one, okay. This is like he's super firm, really tight. The skin is like very tight across. He is not ripe. I would leave him out on the counter probably for a couple days. Just like really firm like a rock. Don't squeeze your fruit, don't bruise it for the next person just because you weren't ready to understand produce. This guy is very ready. Just by picking him up, he is a little bit softer in my hand. It's hard to kind of like show you to explain it, but this guy is really tight. Just rubbing my finger across the top, the skin is very firm, very tight. This is a little bit softer. I would have to be a little more delicate as to not bruise it. It feels like if I squeezed a little, he would probably burst. This guy's ready to go. Tomatoes on the vine, they are what they are. Tomatoes on the mother vine. I love tomatoes on the vine. They're a better size for me than the beefsteak. The beefsteak are usually bigger than this. It's just too much tomato for me, and beefsteaks tend to not be quite as flavorful as the smaller ones. I usually think smaller, more concentrated flavor. So beefsteak on the vine tomatoes, which really is the same thing. Here you can kind of see how this guy is super tight, very underripened, while this guy has been bruised and beaten and lost a battle to the world. Heirloom tomatoes. Heirloom tomatoes are all unique. They generally have this like little rippling around the edge. You're gonna see yellow ones, green ones. Just because they're green does not mean that they are not ripe. Heirloom tomatoes don't always change colors. They don't always get red. You just have to touch them and feel them and see. Like this guy would have been perfect yesterday. Someone should have bought him, but now he's here and alone, and his time is coming and going. Kamado tomatoes. This is a nice dark tomato. This is one of those things we talk about, eating lots of different colors. Obviously not the same color as a red tomato, so you're gonna get different nutritional value while still enjoying a nice seasonal tomato. These are actually listed for men's health as being great specifically for men's health, but I think they're delicious and great for everybody. It's good to eat lots of colors. And then you have like this is what we talk about with heirlooms. They are all different colors. You have green ones, red ones, orange ones, yellow ones. These are all ripe and ready to go, but they are heirlooms. So they're not all gonna be picked for their perfect color. They are what they are, just like you and me, and you just can't change it. And why would you want to? We're all delicious. And that's tomatoes. I hope you like tomatoes as much as I do, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you and you should try. If you have questions, let us know. How to cook tomatoes, how to cut tomatoes. We'll see you shopping.